Hi, my name is Rebecca Powers with SLCT, and here is what's happening in Sterling and Lancaster. The Sterling Spooky Walk will take place on Monday, October 29th at 4 p.m. Drivers note that there will be slowdowns on Route 12 through downtown Sterling. Karen's Closet 5K Run Walk will be on October 28th at noon. To register or for more information, visit www.karenscloset.org. The Friends of the Sterling Seniors will be holding a pancake breakfast on October 26th from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Sterling-Lancaster Community Television will be the celebrity servers. For more information, call 978-422-3032.
I'm Lex Thomas, editor of Sterling Meeting House News and editor-at-large of Sterling-Lancaster Community Television. Now, as everybody knows, we've got an election coming up on November 6th, and it is always so important to vote at election time. But sometimes there are things that get in the way of voting. It could be an absenteeism, it could be a trip that you're taking, it could be a medical issue or a religious issue. And there are mechanisms in place that actually, Barbara, this year I'm going to have to take advantage of. I'm talking to our Sterling Town Clerk, Barbara Bartlett. Barbara, welcome, and thank you so much once again for speaking with me.
Thank you.
Now, tell me about the things that are in place. First of all, what is absentee voting and how does that work?
Okay. You can get an absentee ballot by mail, or you can come in and vote in person by filling out an application stating that you will be out of town or you won't be able to make it to the polls for those reasons you said before, religious reasons. You're going to be out of town anyway, or if you're in the hospital.
Right.
Yes.
And what about early voting? How does that work?
So early voting is only for state elections. There's only been one session so far. It was in 2016. We are having early voting for this election, the November 6th election, and it begins on October 22nd. And it will go for 2 weeks during normal office hours of the town clerk. But we will have one late night on November 1st, while we'll be here until 8 o'clock.
And I should tell our viewers as well that the early voting schedule is published in Sterling Meeting House News in the October issue, and as well, of course, it's on the town website, so everybody can see that. Now, insofar as early voting, are there any restrictions for who can do early voting? Can you just decide to do early voting?
Yes, anyone can. You don't need to be out of town. You don't need an excuse. Anyone can come in during those times and vote.
And they would come right in here to the town clerk's office?
Yes,
is that correct? Now, as I said, this year I'm actually going to be taking advantage of this. I'm going to have a little bit of surgery in a couple of days on my foot, which is going to have me kind of hobbling around, and so my family and I are going to take advantage of early voting to be able to come at a time that is close to our home and that we can do really at our convenience. So tell me a little bit how this works. If somebody comes in to do early voting, what do you need?
You don't need anything except to be registered. You need to be a registered voter.
Okay.
You need to know your answers, what you want to fill out on the ballot.
Right.
And that's really it. If you have your driver's license, you can bring that because we have poll pads that we are going to be using for the first time to check voters in. And we can either look you up by your name and address, or we can scan the back of your driver's license and it instantly finds you.
Now, these poll pads, this is just fantastic technology. So we're using it for the first time here in Sterling. Mm-hmm. Have you been? You must be practicing with this and getting ready for this. So that's a lot of getting ready for you. So, you know, this is just really a wonderful way to make sure that everybody can have their voice heard at this very, very important time. So, Barbara, thank you so much. And I'm actually going to give you my driver's license here. So perhaps you can do a little bit of a demo on how this works. And make sure you get out to vote either at the polls on November 6th and here in town that's at Houghton Elementary School. The polls are open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Make sure that you you know which precinct you're in, because we've got 2 precincts here in Sterling. And as I say, if you can't do that, there is absentee voting as well as early voting. Barbara, thank you so much, and I know that you're heading for a very busy time.
Thanks.
There will be a Sterling Community Lunch on November 3rd at noon in the First Church of Sterling. For more information, visit www.fcsterling.org. The Sterling Historical Society will be holding a Civil War Living History event on November 10th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Historical Society building at 7 Pine Street. There will be a craft and artisan fair at the Wachusett High School on November 10th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. There will be over 100 crafters. I'm Rebecca Powers, and that's what's happening.